Okay, now I've talked about science, I've talked about a new Earth picture. I'm going to speak about reincarnation. I talked to you about it briefly last time. I just want to go over some of the main points, the really important ones, because reincarnation is the key. It's the key to human identity. First of all, the near-death experience means where some consciousness is. It seems to be a powerful principle that's all right. And that's what I've been spelling out. Reincarnation. I would say the world is a function of spiritual ignorance because reincarnation has not been taught in the West. There are presently two pictures of human existence on the planet. One is the scientific picture. Human beings are an animal like any other. We got here through evolution. We are born, we live, we die, that's it. Matter disintegrates and that's the end of us. That's a scientific picture. The religious picture isn't much better. The human soul is formed at conception. It lives one short life on the basis of which it is judged good or evil and sent either to heaven or the other place. One short lifetime on which you are judged for all eternity. Generally a static heaven and a fiery other place. Okay. Reincarnation, if reincarnation is a possibility in what I'm calling the consciousness universe. Because it is a process whereby one consciousness dons bodies again and again with different personalities, different qualities, different characteristics. It dons bodies again and again and lays them down. The teachings of Jesus are based on reincarnation. The picture of human identity that emerges from reincarnation is we are immortal, eternal beings who take on a cycle of earthly incarnations in order to achieve certain purposes or reach certain goals that we could not have reached in the purely physical, purely spiritual realms from whence we come. At the end of our cycle of earthly incarnations, we then depart for either other parts of our own physical universe or other universes altogether, either purely spiritual or other physical universes. Now, this is a pretty astonishing picture of us. We are immortal, eternal beings who reincarnate. We take on earth existence and then we leave it. Again, consciousness precedes matter. Consciousness is the real organizing principle. Human consciousness precedes birth and it survives death. It obviously is guiding neuronal development. It's not just the product of neurons. Jesus taught reincarnation. Now, why? There is one law of the earth plane. It's harm to none. We all know it when we come here. And then we forget, or we're talked out of it. Mainly in the modern world, we're talked out of it because the pictures of human identity have been given by people like Freud and other very materialist behaviors like Skinner. They're based on the scientific model, which is taking what's really just an appearance to be what's real. What does it mean that we reincarnate? Well, Jesus' ethical teachings, I have to say more about ethics, that's why I'm going back to this subject, that there is only one ethical law of the earth plane, harm to none. The whole edifice of ethics is really based on that simple law, and nobody quite understands why that, nobody understands quite where ethics is coming from. But it has a lot to do with a love that it underpins the whole of the reincarnational cycle. Reincarnation comes with, let me dispel it out first, how reincarnation comes with an understanding of karma. And karma is, roughly, very simplistically put, what you do to others will be done to you back in this or another life, not as a punishment, but in order to learn the effects of your actions on other people. It's a learning, it's a growth way, and what it means is that we're all here in some very complex and fathomlessly deep moral connection with each other and, I would say, the planet, and probably the whole universe. A very deep moral connection where we are responsible for all, where we're working out whatever our activities, our goals, and our purposes, we are all working it out under the framework of love. That our entire earthly existence has something to do with realizing love and growing in love and truth and the things that come with love, like freedom and compassion and greater awakening. The ethical precepts of Jesus become absolutely luminous when you realize he had reincarnation in mind, like turn the other cheek. Those who live by the sword die by it. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. These are the laws of the earth plane, and what underpins them is reincarnation. The reincarnation happens to be the way this consciousness universe works. It is completely impossible on most modern theories of the universe. On the machine view of the universe, there's no way that consciousness can elaborate anything. But in this new universe picture I'm giving, reincarnation is a possibility, and as I say many times, a reality. And Jesus spoke of it often because it underpins the whole sense of who we are and what we're here for. It's the ultimate perspective on the right human values. Now, there's one law of the earth plane, harm to none. We come out of a tradition that says, well, we're animals like any other, and out of Freudian psychiatry, we're totally determined by our childhoods, so we can't possibly be held responsible for our actions. On reincarnation, the right term, reincarnation is the right principle of understanding one's life. You are not the victims of parents. You come here choosing your parents for a certain reason, what you wanted to gain from them. You come here with plans and purposes, with goals. The whole of human existence is underlain by purposes that we all know when we come here, but they're not at a conscious level, they're at the soul level. And so we draw to ourselves the events and the people that we need in order to realize the purposes we're about. There's a wonderful scene in the play Billy Elliot, a play about a young 8-year-old dancer, guy who wants to be a dancer, where he's dancing with the man he will become. Already in us, in every one of us, we all know why we're here. We're all here for reasons. And already the dream of the adult that we're going to become is guiding the child. Our life is underlain by purposes and plans. These are realities and their causalities in the consciousness universe. And that's the right picture of human beings. It means that the earth is not a prison. It is a gift. Earthly existence is a gift. It means we've spent centuries gazing heavenward and trying to do good deeds in order to get into heaven. The truth is, we've come to Earth to be here. Earth is where the trip is at this point, and the wretched state of the planet is a sure sign that we have been about the wrong things. Everybody will end up back in heaven, i.e. the spirit world, from whence we all come. Why are we here? Well, we're here to grow, to learn, to wake up, to develop, to evolve. It is said that in America, everybody who is in America is here because evolution is fastest here. The extremes are so great, and I'll say more about this. But we're not here to consume the planet. We're not here to devour the earth or destroy it. We're here, live lightly on the earth. She makes our own spiritual growth possible. It's a call to live lightly on the planet, not destroying it. It also is a radical equalizer of all human beings. To just round out the picture of reincarnation, we come here in every social role, both sexes, every country, every climate, different historical periods, to absolutely just experience all levels and depths of the earth plane. Rather as a child wiggles its toes in mud just to see what it's like. We've come here for a very rich earth experience and a real growing experience. It's not about destroying the planet, it's about enabling it, because every other being also reincarnates. Now this is pretty staggering to get a hold of, but the trees and the animals, they have their own reasons for being here. Physical reality is not an affair of mechanics and forces. It has much more to do with love and ideas than it has to do with mechanics and forces. We come here with reasons for being here. And there are all kinds of, we are at a time in our history where this major teaching of Jesus is being recovered. And people are beginning to realize, what does this mean about the universe? Well, this is, again, it's a stunning insight into the kind of causalities that are underpinning the whole of physical reality. That it's underlain by consciousness, and consciousness functions according to intents, plans, and purposes, what Aristotle called final causality, and it functions through ideas, and it springs from love, and there are a whole lot of things. Freedom is an aspect of consciousness, so is intelligence. A lot of the conundrums of philosophy just fall away, because there's these arguments always going on, freedom versus determinism, and this and that. And there's ethically, there's one law of the earth plane, harm to none. And all the rich complexity of ethics is founded on that. The law of the universe, I would say the laws of the universe belong to consciousness. And there's only one. And the one is consciousness must create. It will turn itself inside out to do so. Now we all know this in ourselves. We have a problem. We get a solution. It's a great solution. We get elated by it, and then we set off looking for another one, because consciousness is playful. It's like a child. It wants to explore as many possibilities as it can. This is physical existence. It has rich possibilities for ways of being, of interacting with other people, of knowing. Jesus taught it because this is who we are. This is our true identity. And it isn't just Jesus who is the one come down from heaven to show the rest to save the rest of us. Jesus wanted to share his Christhood, and so he taught reincarnation, and well, this is the truth that makes one free, essentially. And this because reincarnation is the right perspective on what we're here for, and the true human values, and what the earth makes possible to us, and what a disaster we have been for the planet because we have not realized this. I suggest those who have not read anything about reincarnation might read Seth, the works by Jane Roberts, channeling Seth, of Seth Speaks, or Emmanuel. These are people who finish their cycle of reincarnations and are teaching from the other side of things. There's a wonderful line in Shakespeare. Hamlet refers to death as the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns. Well, there are travelers returning these days. Seth channeled through Jane Roberts describes his earthly lifetimes, how he now is a teacher from the other side of things. And there are some ordinary mortals, like Brian Weiss, who's written Many Lives, Many Masters, and Michael Newton's wonderful book, Journey of Souls. They're a place to start reading about it. And I would want to say, for any one of us, the only question of our life, which is totally meaningless on the scientific count, is who am I and what am I here for? Now, there are all kinds of channeled sources these days, spiritual sources, all kinds of ways of answering these questions for oneself. And so, I'm proposing that and let me say what it means, that reincarnation is the great leveler. We all experience, if reincarnation had been taught in the West, there would have been no suppression of women, because you're not divine in one life and not in another. There was a council held in the 17th century to determine if women had souls or not. Well, we passed by 3 votes, I think. There would have been no need for such a council. If we had known from the beginning that we are going to be both sexes here, the gifts of both sexes would have been honored, not this constant male put down of women and feminine and female values. Okay, so there's the teaching of Jesus, reincarnation. The church falsified most of the teachings of Jesus right from the beginning. They dropped reincarnation and they dropped a lot of other things. Now, in a minute, I'm going to return to Jesus. Who was this man? And what was it that he was teaching? At this point, I'm just going to say that much about reincarnation. That's the right perspective on ourselves, and it's the key to our own identities and to human identity. Okay, that's all I want to say. And I have given some lengthy talks on this that aren't yet up on the site, but hopefully they will be.